Hey, this is Zach Daniels, Gaming Journal, back again. Uh, what have I been up to lately? I recently bought my 11-year-old daughter a Chromebook, and to test it out, I booted up Terraria on it. And as I'm goofing around in Terraria, my 11-year-old daughter says to me, "I don't like flat games where there's just one level." I had to explain to her it was called 2D, and I just wanted to say how great it is to not be a child anymore. Because can you imagine just flat out saying, "I don't like 2D games"? But children are so free of inhibition that they get to say stupid things like that. Um, it's wild having kids and going through and seeing the prejudices that they develop, and helping them to escape those prejudices, which I'm still working on. And we all have our own prejudices, I suppose. So there's that little anecdote, I suppose. So if anybody, needs an 11-year-old, mine is available. I don't want her anymore. I'm just kidding. She's wonderful. Um, I've been playing a lot of System Shock. I am towards the end, and it's very enjoyable. However, it is not an immersive sim. I don't know why it's called the granddaddy of immersive sims, but it has no immersive systems. There's one way to go about interacting with the game, and that's shooting things. Now, I understand that a lot of the systems that are common in immersive sims started in System Shock with passcodes, environmental clues, um, audio logs, being a first-person shooter with an interesting story and characters. It's all there, and it is a great game. I have found maybe two areas where you can kind of skip the intended progression of the game by basically the only thing you can do to skip the intended progression is to use your hover boots. Instead of going through the normal paths that the level has laid out for you, just literally fly from the beginning to the ending checkpoint. That's specifically on level 8, I believe I did that. There is another place you could do that in level 7, I think. Also, in terms of System Shock, what I have really, really loved is Shodan. Shodan, she's better than GLADoS. I'm just going to say it. GLADoS is like, I hate you, right? I don't like you, player character. Wink. Versus Shodan, she really hates you and everyone. And the delivery of her lines with the computer effects that are put over it are fantastic. The writing is fantastic. Just the pure seething malice that this AI has is just chef's kiss. So really like that. I'm really looking forward to finishing System Shock, and now I have this dilemma of what do I do next? System Shock 2 or the System Shock remake? Do I go back to back System Shock into System Shock? I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I'll probably install them both and boot them both up just to see which one tickles my fancy right out of the gate. I'm leaning towards the remake because this is so fresh in my mind that I'd be able to compare and contrast the remake with the original. Also, I'm hoping a lot of the puzzles will be easier and I'll get through the game quicker while it's fresh in my mind, as long as they've kept those similar systems and puzzles and layouts. But yeah, System Shock. If you've never played System Shock before, System Shock Enhanced Edition on Steam is just, you cannot go wrong. And I've been playing it pretty much without a guide. I remember I looked something up very early. Right, the one thing I looked up was how to There's something you have to get underneath a green force field, and I could not figure out how to get that force field up. Turns out there's the buttons right there in the room. It's just because the level design and the art is so garish that I missed the very obvious button on account of it just blended in with all the garish art of the game. That's on me, kind of, to a degree. Other than that, I've gotten through the game without a guide, which I'm kind of proud of, because there have been times where I'm like, do I just Google it? Or do I figure it out? Like, you know, what's on which level, for example. And I remember back in the recesses of my mind that right at the beginning of the game, you get one audio log with good Shodan, and she lays out what's on each level of the Citadel space station. So you go back and you find that. And other things, what to find on which levels are all in audio logs. So I'm looking through all my audio logs, and it's a good feeling to go through a game the way it was somewhat intended, without an outside guide. Although the game ships with several guides in the game files, which is really cool. And I have referred to those mostly for weapon stats. I'm not going to waste my time trying out all my weapons and then reloading an old save, try out the new weapon. That's not worth it. So I look, when I get a new weapon, I compare and contrast in the game guide to see if it fits what I'm looking for. The weapons are all pretty cool, actually. It's for a game that was made 1 year after Doom. The shooting in the game, waiting for the trucks to go by. The shooting in the game is actually pretty satisfying for the most part, as long as the enemies are on the same level as you. As it is a true 3D game, unlike Doom, there is some jankiness with the shooting when you have to aim a little bit up or down. But yeah, System Shock. I'm excited to finish it on account of how awesome it is, and putting a check mark on that one. Anyways, this has been a long one. Sorry. Peace out.